Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Red River Rundown. Today is just me and Boomtown. Cam is still out on vacation. We told y'all that boy is rich. He got all the money in the world. He's traveling throughout the world. I think I don't know, maybe he's, you know what I'm saying? He went to Iceland and they let him set camp up in Antarctica. I guess he has a
Yeah.
portable freezer or heater that kept him warm. So, bro, Cameron is just really like that. So, shouts out to him. He'll be back soon. But Isaiah, Boomtown, how you doing this week?
I'm doing good. Doing good. It was extremely hot. Uh Except for pretty much yesterday we got a breeze, which was
94.
unheard of. Not but at least in the morning it was like 70. I went and ate breakfast with some friends yesterday morning and I was like, "Ooh, I can put these windows down." I was like I was holding my arm out the window and it actually felt pretty good yesterday. So we're just getting a little taste of fall because we got another month and a half before that shit shows up. But I
It
will
might be
enjoy
more.
every minute.
It
Yeah,
may
I will
be.
enjoy every single second of
Well,
it.
while we're enjoying it, let's jump into these topics, brother. Today, the first thing we're talking about, we're going to ease into the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because we are going to talk about NFL. We're going to talk NBA. We'll talk even UFC. But the first thing that we're talking about is MySpace making a comeback?
Absolutely not. I don't even know why we're.
Bro, have you
I
not seen it?
I
Is this,
heard
is it,
that the owners of it were talking about like, hey, we've just been dormant. We're waiting for the right time. The time has passed you by, and I mean this with all due respect. Okay, and the reason I say that is because what it meant in that time when MySpace was around was generational. We have progressed. We've got more social medias coming out, pretty much one a year at this point. And MySpace was very computer friendly as an app, which is pretty much how you're accessing social media now. I don't know how they would change the structure to make it seem more enticing to re-download it and re-log into your MySpace account that some people haven't used in 15 years.
man, and it
So
might be longer than that.
I know I mean good for them. They're trying, but I mean in that era, not every kid had a smartphone, but a lot of kids had internet, or kids would go over to friends' houses and use their internet to log on to their MySpace and hang out and add songs. Pretty much, we already got that more or less in Instagram. You got TikTok, Facebook is still there, Twitter's there, but 15 years ago, what else did we have? We had Facebook. I think Instagram had just came out.
15 years ago in 2011, we
Yeah.
had Facebook. MySpace was dying, or it was starting to die at that point.
Hmm.
We had, I think, IG and maybe Snapchat had started, but we had like
Yeah.
Voxer, where it was just a walkie-talkie. Like people, it was very
Yeah.
experimental back then.
Hmm.
But honestly, bro, I think MySpace coming back would be fun. I think it would be cool. The only thing that is going to change is remember, you didn't have the same version on your phone as you did on your desktop or your
Yeah.
laptop, so you'll be
We
able to
would
have that
illegally
now. Yeah,
we would illegally download wallpapers.
yeah, and I think it'll even help like artists who draw or create and do things like that. I know AI is going to take
Hmm.
care of a ton of it, but people will take ideas and throw it on their MySpace, and if that helps give creators a little change, then cool. But I don't think it's gonna last, right? I think it'll be people will be tired of editing and if they can make it easy utilizing AI to change some of the more complex things directly on your phone, I think it'll be fine, right? I think
Yeah.
it'll be cool. I just don't know if they can do that. And if they can, boy, I don't think MySpace is going to take or trump some of the more hotter social media apps right now. I don't think there's
Hmm.
any hotter social media app, I'm telling you, than TikTok. I don't think MySpace could catch TikTok. I don't think
No.
MySpace could catch Facebook or Instagram. I
If they didn't get rid of Vine,
Well, that's all. I mean, TikTok
yeah,
is
you know what I
Vine.
mean?
TikTok
Yeah.
TikTok is literally just Vine that pays the creators. The reason
Hmm.
Vine died was because all of those people couldn't make money. So they just stopped uploading on it and they started uploading on YouTube. And then YouTube
Hmm.
started paying people. And then TikTok was like, why don't we make Vines like TikTok or YouTube is doing and then just help the creators get paid? and then boom,
Yep.
they invested a bunch of money into it. People are making money off of it
And
like crazy. So
they created the monsters that are the Paul brothers. So thank you.
yeah, it just goes to show you, because of social media, anything can make you rich, and that's why we want y'all to tune in into the Red River
That's right.
Rundown, baby.
Shameless plug.
Shameless
Shameless
plug, bro. Shameless
plug
plug.
right there.
Shameless plug. All right, well,
Nah,
let's keep it pushing, bro. Let's keep it pushing. It was cool just talking, and because I've seen it all over my like thread and all that, and I was just like, bro,
yeah.
MySpace might come back, so I was curious,
I
but
will not be participating respectfully.
I will
I
bring
I,
my
I
page
remember.
back just so that I could look at old pictures and have that nostalgia rush. But I'm telling
Mhm.
you, after that, maybe 3 weeks in, that shit is getting buried in a folder on my phone that I'll never see again. It'll live on my phone, but I am not logging in. I'm not checking nothing. If you send me messages on MySpace, it's gonna sit there for 70 years. I'm not touching it, bro. I'm not touching it. But brother, we know that training camp is back in and people are
Mhm.
going crazy with their predictions. I'm even going crazy with my predictions, right? Like I've seen videos of Drew Allar and I've talked myself into him being the greatest quarterback of all time, at least being the next Big Ben. I've seen his
Mhm.
footwork improve. Bro, when you just watch him throw at Steelers camp, the ball screams out of his hand. So I'm already like, oh my God. Now, when they put the pads on, homies might throw the ball to the linebacker every single play, right? But
Mhm.
as of right now, he looks cool. I'm hopeful. Are we overreacting to training camp, or is training camp really where champions are born?
I don't think it's necessarily an overreaction because you see tools, right? Yeah, they're going at about half to 3/4 speed, but it's getting the looks that are going to make those champions, right? You have to get looks. You have to read the coverages. You have to anticipate throws. You have to, you know, get a jump on a snap count. All those things. That's why we play the game because it everybody in the NFL is they're some of the most talented athletes in the world, regardless. So it's just a matter of how smart are you on the back end with reading these plays and executing to stop that guy from beating you on this play. Because that's essentially what every coach is going to say. Hey, when we get this look here, anticipate this, read this, and it's not necessarily the Jimmys and Joes sometimes. Sometimes it is the X's and O's because it's a chess match. People think that football is a very animalistic game, but at the same time, there's so much strategy that goes into any sport that you play. So it's like, it's exactly where champions are born. As far as overreacting, I think you have to talk about it because if you don't talk about it, then why are we fans? Why do half these writers have a job unless they overreact to certain things, right? I can't wait for Colin Cowherd to say some absolutely egregious shit in the next couple of days and be completely wrong about everything that he said because he's done it before. But that's why he has a job because some people cling on to that. It creates a whole narrative about a guy. It's a story. It adds to the drama of every single training camp, which leads into the season, which is why eventually people get fired or
Absolutely.
people get cut. So no, I
Absolutely.
love every second of it because it means that football season is back. I'm repping my team. Y'all see it. I know we might win about 5 games, but it's okay. I'm ready to take those lumps because you got to lose some to win some. Okay,
And
we'll
you
be all right.
live. You live to fight another day.
Fight another day.
Yeah,
Okay.
facts. I feel that. I respect that. I respect that. I wish there were more fans like you, Isaiah. I wish there were more fans that would go through those lump periods with their teams instead of just clinging on to the Chiefs or clinging on to
Hmm.
the next hot commodity in the NFL or any pro sport. I wish I wish people would just stay a fan. Like, as you can see behind me, you know who I'm repping. And that's why I'm going to overreact to my team every year because I'm just optimistic, bro. I want my team to be good. I've known the last 3 years that they're probably going to be booty butt cheeks in compared to Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Like, as
Hmm.
other franchises, the Steelers are never that. Like, I think the Steelers are the only team to not finish last in their division since, like, the 2000s, and the Steelers
Mhm.
haven't finished last in their division since 1988. But for the Steelers, it's like, bro, this is bad. Like, you
Mhm.
can't just keep getting crushed in the playoffs. But I've seen some narratives. I've seen like Ty Simpson is butt after a couple of snaps. I've seen but again, we see stuff like this every year.
Yeah.
And then it's
I
just
mean,
people are just, I don't
any
know.
yeah, anytime I see like a report come out about a quarterback and how he performed in practice in August or July, relax. I mean, bro, I mean, I can't stand that. And some of it, sometimes I cling on to it, and I'm like, what do you mean? Deshaun Watson went 15 to 17 for 5 touchdowns? Because I've also seen reports come out of like how Shadur played in practice, and then somebody even broke down the amount of yards that he threw for. I'm like, bro, this is a 2 minute drill, or this is red zone. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we breaking this shit down? It's situational because you want to work out those kinks before the season starts, so you can figure out your guy. It has nothing to do with like, because also you got to think you're playing against your defense. Your defense might not be as good as other defenses, and your defense might be a lot better than other defenses than these guys are going to face. So it's like it's working out the kinks on both sides of the ball. So stop overreacting.
Bro,
It's
it
it's that time of year where that happens, but
this is how I always think about it. And this is a very minor scale, so I need people to chill out. Back in the day, whenever we started getting going playing football, back in the day, whenever I was just a youngster, you know what I'm saying, a long, long time ago, my grade, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, we were not very successful. We weren't the Browns, but we were not the Chiefs. We weren't them. We were very Titans esque. You know what I mean? We catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? We ran the wishbone. But we would
you can sneak
practice.
one.
Yeah, we would practice and look like superstars, and we would scrimmage. We scrimmaged the class ahead of us and the class below us. The class below us was obviously our homeboy on the podcast, Cam. Brother, I used to run for like 596 yards.
Putting up recess numbers,
Right,
baby.
putting up recess numbers. And then we would get to the games and we would just get beat by 40. So, like you said, it's overreacting. Stop doing it, but don't stop doing it. I enjoy the overreaction, but I also
Mhm.
know that I'm overreacting. A lot of people don't know that. And then you see it come out in the season, and it's just like, chill out, bro. Like, you had to
Yeah,
know. You know what I mean? Like, who maybe Chiefs fans, if they crashed out this year, cool, I'll give it to you. They've been counting y'all out for the last 2-3 years anyways, and y'all
yeah,
just kept. So if y'all crashed out, I get it. After that, like, why was any other team going crazy? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe the Bengals
Because
too, because Joe Burrow's always hurt.
yeah, and Jamar Chase is fighting people in practice.
That
I don't
hey,
know if you've seen that.
are you a fan of fights and stuff in training camp?
I think it brings together the team.
I
I
I
think you
think
I think you need some beef.
I think it's just competition, and that's what you
Hmm.
want, bro. I think maybe it's just us because we grew up in that kind of and that's what raised us was like football and stuff, football,
Hmm.
older basketball and stuff. But remember, we used to want to be bet like when we would play against each other or against Cam or any of our other friends, like we wanted to crush each other. We wasn't trying
Hmm.
to go easy and ha 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 ha. I
Great shot, bro.
yeah,
Hell no.
like we were on each we've gotten into arguments over sports, and then after the
Hmm.
sport ends or after
We're
we're
fine.
done, then we go eat and chill and stuff. But people only focus on just that fight. And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, if it only becomes an issue if that fight lingers. If it's like the Draymond situation where Draymond punched out Jordan Poole and then didn't say anything to him afterwards,
It's a little
yes, it's an
different.
issue. But like the
Yeah,
Jamar Chase thing, bro, people fight in training camp every year. I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
It's like a
But Jamar
it's
Chase
like
be
a
spitting on
brother.
people too.
Yeah, it's like a brotherhood type of thing. Like, you work out those differences because you gotta think, man, some people even though they're professional athletes, everybody's personality is different. So I'm not expecting Kirk Cousins to be in the middle of a scrum, respectfully. But somebody that has grown up around, a different type of group of people where competition is literally how you put food on the table day in and day out, I don't mind a little shit talk. I don't mind a little, razzing back and forth and getting into somebody's face because man to man, that's how people get their shit tested. That's how scraps start is like, oh, you think you're better than me. I'm gonna show you that you're not. And then and then the testosterone levels start to rise and then you get a little scrap, but you got to think he got into it with DJ Turner, who's been on that team this almost the same amount of time or longer than Jamar Chase. So like they know each other. They've been around each other for years, so it was just a heat of the moment type of thing. Now when Martellus Bennett snatched up Kyle Fuller, that was a little different.
That's
That
crazy.
was
Hey, speaking of the Bengals too, did you see that Shamar Stewart knee? Bro,
that
I thought it was over with. I thought they lost him for
yeah.
the season, and crazy enough,
His,
it's just a hyperextension, so he'll be back.
ooh, yeah.
He'll be back.
It
But
looked nasty. And also I got the Niners signing Debo
yep,
back is 100% due to the fact that poor Ricky Pearsall is, I think, I'm not trying to make no hot takes or nothing. I think we've reached the point with Ricky Pearsall where we have to go, hey man, I don't think it's beneficial for you to continue to play football. One, when he is on the field, he's shown flashes. He is a talented guy. You get shot, you come back, and you're dealing with so many injuries year in and year out, man. It's like I think your body cannot handle the strain. Sometimes it's a mental thing. Sometimes it's like you're worried about cutting and it leads to more injuries. I you tear your ACL in practice, especially with where that practice field is at. There's
yeah,
a
facts.
history of
And
people's bones
your body
breaking
starts to
down.
compensate. Your body just
Mhm.
naturally starts to compensate, and it's hard to get it to not to. So once you tear your ACL, the reason people say you never fully develop or never fully return is because naturally your body is going to put more weight on the other one because
Yep.
you have to try to catch back up, and you're not going to catch back up because as your right leg gets stronger, your left leg is going to get stronger also. So it's going to be hard to
Hmm.
catch them back up. And so you're not. And then if you tear the other one, then maybe it's easier to, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to try to Joe Rogan this and just be like, Jamie,
Yeah.
hey, Jamie,
JB, pull that up.
yeah, yeah.
JB.
I don't know. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that doesn't like maybe it's easier. But I do know once you tear one or you have a major knee injury or you have a major shoulder injury, your body naturally is just like, hey, that hurts. Now we're shifting over this way because now
Hmm.
everything is over here. We're putting all of our resources over here until this is repaired. And the body will naturally try to repair it. Obviously, it's not going to, but it'll
Hmm.
stop the bleeding and things like that. So yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
hey,
I'm hoping that he
just get
is
out of
able
San Fran,
to,
right?
yeah, honestly, get away from that practice field.
Yeah. So would you say they have the conversation of maybe you don't need to play anymore, or they have the conversation of like maybe let's see if we can get something for him? Maybe somebody does see and they're like, hey, our training staff is better than San Fran's. San Fran's been dealing with injury issues in that quote unquote field. Maybe it's not the field.
Mhm.
Maybe it's the training staff. Maybe like Shanahan
Yeah.
doesn't have a good training staff. We don't know that about him, I guess. So, and if
Yeah.
he doesn't, maybe that's where all these injuries are coming from. And maybe somebody looks at their training staff and says, hey, can you tell me what's going on with Ricky Pearsall's body? A,
Yeah.
can you fix it? Yes, I can. And then boom, stem
I will
cells.
say there is a definite problem somewhere within that team because skill position players, I give them 7 games. Last year was probably the worst year. I mean, Juwan Jennings was the one that played the most games out of that receiving core. We know the history of Christian McCaffrey. This is the first year that George Kittle really had a really bad injury, and he was not able to come back. I think it was his Achilles. All that being said, you get Debo back. You let Jawan walk. Brandon Ayuk is like, I don't know, he's like out of shape somewhere. I don't even know what he's
Nah,
doing.
bro, stop it. He's not playing. If Brandon Ayuk, well, okay, the only way Brandon Ayuk gets on the field for the San Francisco 49ers is if this was all just a troll. If this was the Niners all being cool, them really having conversations, and him on social media is just him playing with the fans and just trolling the fans so that they can stop taking everything so serious. If everything that he's been posting though is real, there's no way he's suiting up with the Niners. He's
I don't think he's suiting up with any
I
team.
don't either because of how he acted. He just talked himself into the USFL or the UFL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
went a
scorched
mild
earth.
AB. Yeah,
Yeah.
he went like mild
And
AB
you're
with it.
not as talented as AB. People
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like we've seen receivers have attitudes and we've seen everyone have attitude, but if that talent is right, like I've heard people say Messi or Ronaldo or other basketball players or like their egos and stuff is big. Yeah, you know why? Because they're fantastic. If you're not
yes,
fantastic at that craft, you can't have that attitude. If Gordon Ramsay was just a regular dude,
he'd be getting his ass whooped.
ain't nobody finna let you talk to him like that, bro. The only reason you could talk to him like that is because you're one of the best chefs in the world.
Watch out!
Yeah. Sure you can.
What are you?
Yeah.
An idiot sandwich.
Yeah. Ain't nobody
Come on
finna
now.
listen to that shit if they weren't getting on TV because of you. If you just
Yeah,
said that to somebody, bro,
yeah. Oh my
that's what
god,
that
could
is.
you imagine if he had food at a restaurant
Could
and he didn't like it with that attitude?
could you imagine if he was the head chef of IHOP and he's screaming, right? You know what? I'm not even finna give, you know what I'm saying, any IHOP in the world, especially if it was a Waffle House. Waffle House,
Oh,
if you
Waffle
the head
House,
chef,
they
everybody
oh
watching it too is crazy thing. Shouts out to
a
Waffle House.
Waffle House in Atlanta, Georgia.
But yeah,
He might not make it out of there.
Gordon Ramsay going to a Waffle House in Atlanta on a Saturday night about 1:32, 2:30,
Scary
and
hours,
yeah,
yeah.
oh boy, and he going,
After the let
what's
out.
this? You call him this? This is bloody.
This is not a scramble. Oh my god.
They
Hey man.
be going crazy on a guy. Disrespect. But any before we pivot directly from like training camp, is there anything that stood out to you in training camp? Is there anything else that you've seen? Like I've been I've been doing a lot of hating of the Cincinnati Bengals, but I do want to say that Joe Burrow is probably my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I enjoy watching
Yes.
him when he was on quarterback. I enjoyed watching him on the latest quarterback whenever you could see him talking to Joe Flacco, and you just hear
Mhm.
how much of a psycho he is, how much in depth that he is, like so much stuff that to people that aren't fans of him, like that are just big fans of like basketball but not football, they wouldn't understand it. They think playing quarterback is so easy, but he gives you those little nuances, those like little
Mhm.
like you open here and or you know what I'm saying when he's throwing and it's just like I love listening to you talk because you're
Yeah.
explaining it in the detail needed that
Yep.
yeah it tells me that you love the sports. And here's a hot take. I was talking to my wife about this. Whenever I look at Joe Burrow, I think that Joe Burrow loves the game of football, right? I think because he's great, it's helped him become a star. I think Patrick Mahomes loves being a star.
Ooh. Hey, clip it.
Hey,
Clip it.
and like I said, no
Clip it.
disrespect. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think there's not like I think he's chasing greatness. I think he's chasing the superstardom. But I don't
Mhm.
know if Pat loves football the same way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he doesn't love it. I'm saying maybe he doesn't obsess over it the same way that Joe does. Because he's so naturally talented, maybe he didn't have
Mhm.
to go through some of the same things. Or maybe when he was a kid, because he did play so many other sports, maybe he focused primarily on, like, you know what I'm saying? He knew a lot about a lot, but he didn't
Mhm.
know in detailed information the same way Joe did.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you could have a conversation with Joe about the 70s and 80s of in the NFL, maybe the 90s.
Mhm.
I think Pat Mahomes, like the 90s, that's about as far back as you're going.
Well, and his arm talent was able to I'm on the same clip as you to a certain degree. I think the fact that your dad played professional baseball for as long as he did and was a pitcher at that, I think starting early, developing your arm early, understanding angles early, and playing baseball in high school. He was drafted, I think, by the White Sox. Um,
Hey,
so
Jamie, look that up.
Jamie, can we look that up? That and playing other sports, like you said, I think Joe Burrow played basketball. Joe Burrow was obviously talented enough. He went to Ohio State before he transferred to LSU. But I think the talent of Mahomes, it looks like it's superseding Joe Burrow just purely off of success. Patrick Mahomes was not a number one overall draft pick. Joe Burrow was. And I think in that time, the year that Mahomes got drafted, the guys that were drafted in front of him look a little differently now. Like obviously it is Mahomes, the Chiefs traded up to get him. Zach Taylor's not as good a coach as Andy Reid.
Facts.
Eric Bieniemy is regarded as one of the best OCs whenever he's in the NFL. So
Are you implying that
what
if you put Joe Burrow in Kansas City and give him the same
we
treatment
got to
that
lead with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you
we
lead
have to
with
lead
that,
with
brother, I
that.
think Joe Burrow may be the greatest quarterback of all time. If we're
Especially
giving Joe Burrow the pat like not the full Patrick Mahomes path, but if we give
Mhm.
him the Kansas City offense, we give them Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid with a nice vet quarterback to learn from for the first year, and he doesn't have to get rushed in and get hurt. He's going to have a better offensive line. Maybe his wide receiver room isn't as top end heavy, but again, Joe Burrow
Yeah.
is so obsessed with football. I think he would make it work.
You
And
mean to tell me that Joe Burrow, his rookie year, would still have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey?
exactly. That's what and
You
a nice run game to be able to lean on. Like I said, I not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes because I do think that
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes can go down as the greatest. But to me, I think great and
absolutely.
talent are it's I'm not trying to be like I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm more or less
Yeah.
saying that I like Joe Burrow more because Joe Burrow is
Mhm.
a he and I relate to football in similar manners than how
Yeah.
Mahomes does. Mahomes, I think,
More of a student and a historian of the game and
yes,
understanding the differences between eras, quarterbacks in that eras, play in that
it's
eras,
it's being able to have
developing
it's being able
those.
to have the conversation with somebody and talk to them about how it relates. If so, especially in today's, like just today, people are so quick to just say like, "Oh, let's look at the numbers," and that's it. Not the
Mhm.
yes, maybe you're scoring more now today, but that's just because of the natural progression. If you look at it,
Mhm.
how it relates to the eras, then you know what I'm saying? Like when you, oh, well, he was scoring 40 and it's like, okay, but 40 today is 20 back then because of how much
Yeah.
of a different era it was, how it was officiated and things like that. So you have to do that just like you would do with money. Like like $100 today is not $100 back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So
Shit, it wasn't
everything,
$100 we would get paid at Kinnaman's.
brother,
That $100 we was at Kinnaman's, I was like, that's groceries for the week, my guy.
right. So you have to look at sports the same way. People don't do that shit though. But
Yeah.
speaking of looking at sports, Isaiah, I wanted to sneak this in. We got Prize Picks season locks, brother. I ain't trying to
You got
do
some
none.
numbers?
I ain't trying to. Yeah. I ain't trying to put together nothing right now because it's still early training camp. But I was. Oh my god, bro! I was looking at it. I'm still looking at it. Let's look at some of these top ones and see if we like what would you do. The first one that I see on the popular is Puka Nakua. His over under 8 receiving touchdowns.
It's really hard with that number. And the only reason why I say that is because Puka historically gets about that exact number every year for receiving touchdowns. His yards are just I don't Puka is the over the middle the guy. He's the over the middle guy that Cooper Cup was, but his volume is so much higher. So like if there's a game where Puka Nakua has 2 touchdowns in a game, you're looking at it like,
He had
how did
10
he
last
get
year,
them?
for reference.
So he had 10.
Yeah.
He had 10.
He
So
he's
is that
went 6.
8.5 right now?
It's at 8. He went 6,
Oh, 8.
3, and 10. Last
Mm,
year, remember in 24, he didn't play the full year. So
mm.
over 8. And
Man,
I don't. Nah, it's just regular season. I was gonna say I don't know if it counts playoffs, but in total,
it should
Puka
just
had
be
12. Yeah, it
season
should be
locks,
season,
yeah.
but yeah, receiving touchdowns. Over, would you take it? You putting the money on it?
Over 8?
8 or
I
under?
have to. I have to take the over with that offense, man.
Yeah, but if Matt Stafford goes down, are you still as comfortable with that
Yeah, because
because
I
of his
think
volume?
Ty
Boy,
Simpson will
stop.
force feed him.
I don't know if
I
they
think he'll
put him
force feed
in.
him.
They might put Stetson Bennett.
Stasquavius
Yeah.
Bennett?
Yeah, bro. And which he would do that until he gets knocked out. But yeah, okay. Next.
Yeah.
And this one is one, you know what I'm saying? We'll start on Ashton Genty, 974.5 rushing yards.
974?
Yeah. His second year, they did go out and get Linderbaum. You think I think they could. I think he could run for 1,000 yards, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, just not what is it, 17 games. He
That should be extremely obtainable. Obviously, injury might change that ability to get that number, but historically speaking, Ashton Genty, I'm not trying to jinx him, knock on particle board wood right here. He doesn't really have a lot of nagging injuries that he deals with because he's so compact, man. He's like 5'8". He's like 5'8", 210 of just pure fucking shit your pants muscle. Now, I would rather in this situation, I'm probably going to take it, but I would rather take his season total scrimmage yards at like 1,200.
hold on, bro. I'm doing some math real quick.
And we'll put him at about 70 yards a game if you played all 17 games
No,
around that.
you're
Like,
100% right, but I'm saying, hold on. Buy me some time, my guy. No, I'm joking. If he averages 57.5 rushing yards a game, he gets what he needs.
yeah.
So I expect him to have a couple of big games. I think he gets
I
it.
think
I think it's
70 is around the 1,000-yard
yeah.
mark, like almost 1,100 yards.
Well, depends. No, 60. 60, and he
Oh,
plays every game. He's at 1,020 yards. So just under. Um, Dak Prescott, 4,024.5 yards.
take the over. Take the over.
That was
There's
hard for
no
me, bro.
way on God's green earth
Is he gonna
that
stay
he does not.
healthy the
Who,
full
Dakota?
season? Yes, the full season.
Absolutely. Yes, I believe in Dakota. Okay. There
You
is
know what?
you
Me
got to
too.
think.
Me
That's what I'm
too.
talking about.
I believe in
They're
him.
gonna
Let's
open it up. Okay, him and the NFL young boy and Sedarius Lamb. It's time
okay.
time to
Then
let them
then
boys
what
fly.
what about this one? 3,500, basically 3,600 yards. Caleb Williams.
He threw for like just a shade under 4K last year.
He
I think he
should
was
hit
at
it.
like he should. That offense does look a little different now, just
No
because
DJ
they did
Moore.
lose DJ Moore. But DJ Moore was almost like an afterthought.
Yeah.
You know, there
Cole
was
was
weird
that guy,
games.
my dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was weird games where like no receiver even sniffed like 80 yards. It was strange. So I think they have an opportunity to actually use, Colson Leveling a lot. I think he can get that. I think he can
Yeah, I
because
agree.
Luther Burden is supposed to be the deep ball
Well,
guy.
and if he starts to struggle, I can see Chicago going out and getting another wide receiver to replace, maybe a veteran or maybe someone like that. And I mean, we could still see Stephon Freaky Diggs sign with the Bears for all we know to give them that replacement if they needed it. I don't think they do, but
Yeah,
next player up. Bijan Robinson, 1150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
we talking about here?
Yeah. I'm the only thing
Are you
keeping
talking
Bijan, the
about
only thing
Will
keeping
Smith's
the
genie?
only thing keeping no, you know what? Ain't shit keeping Bijan from this. Kevin Stefanski will get Bijan Robinson this. The only way you're not getting it is if he deals with injuries.
The one thing that I will say, okay, I'm gonna preface
He's gonna
this.
miss 6 games. Don't take it. Sorry.
No, he's more of a zone running scheme versus Zach Robinson was having him run the ball out of the pistol. So it's more like, hey, let's get him to the corners, let's get him to the edge, and have Bijan make moves. Versus like Stefanski was running traps and things of that nature whenever he had Nick Chubb.
It was a they yes and no. I think he was very. I think he used him more versatile, but I think it was more because of Chubb's running style. Once Chubb was hurt, and once they went through a couple of other running backs and his running scheme still worked, they were a little bit different, and they would go to running out of the pistol and running more stretch plays and things to get Bijan
Yeah,
out in space. So I think Stefanski can do it. Hell, he has to because that's all of his offense. People are going to be high
yeah,
on Drake London this year, and again, y'all just ain't never paid attention to a
I
Kevin
don't see
Stefanski
it.
offense.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
No matter who's throwing the ball, I don't see it.
JSN's number is 1325. You touching it?
With health, I think he gets it. I mean, Cooper Cup is the perfect balance
Think this
of
number
yeah,
is I think this number is too highly surrounded by Sam Darnold playing the full season, so I wouldn't touch it.
yeah,
Because I think if Sam plays, Milrow is there. I don't think
yeah.
Milrow's getting JSN 1325.
Well, I also that number is just where it needs to be. These asshole Vegas odds makers. It's right where it needs to be because it's really tough to sit there and predict that a guy's going to get 1,300 yards playing receiver. It's really hard to predict that. And the reason that I say that is because depending on what the schedule looks like, which they probably looked at that a lot in more detail than what I would look at it, they're probably looking at the secondary that he's going to be playing against. And with that comes, does he have an opportunity to have, at 1350, that's putting him on average of about, I don't know, 85 to 90 yards a game in a 17 game season? Maybe 6 catches, 6 to 9 catches, probably in that range. There's going to be a game where he does not get that.
Facts.
And then there might be a game where he pops the hell off and has 180 yards receiving. So,
All right.
sorry. It's really hard to tell.
I'll give you a couple more, and then I want to look at a couple different things before we keep it pushing to the brief
Okay.
NBA and stuff. But
Okay.
passing yards that I thought were cool to look at, and I'll just give you the four and just tell me over under. Uh, and Matt Stafford's is at 3,925 and a half. I want to say yes, but again, bro, like
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
Because I could see them being such a good team, especially if Aaron Donald comes back. Then maybe we do see Ty Simpson a little bit this year. Maybe we do. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? And
think
I
their
think,
defense will hold up.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the weapons around him, like I mean, Ty
You
Simpson is
have
he's Ty
too
Simpson is
much.
he's good. People can look at the training camp and like we said earlier, it's definitely overreaction. People can look at how he looks. All quarterbacks that are not generational do not go into the first day and just dominate. Think about how you were when you start your new job. That first day while you're getting trained, you're not out there throwing touchdowns behind your back.
Yep.
You're
Mm-hmm.
learning. That's what Ty Simpson is doing,
Mm-hmm.
bro. But Drake Mays is at 3,800. I'm taking that shit. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
how
have
good they're
to.
gonna be. I'm not saying they're gonna win
Yeah.
14 games, but 3,800 yards from a young, from a young runner up in the MVP race. Give me Drake May for 3,800 yards.
Yeah, because I think that puts him. I know we're like getting hella statistician on it. That puts him at about 225 a game if he plays every game.
And my guy is going to have a couple of games because he's that good.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's is 3,600, and I'm taking that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think every season that he's played, even though he's got his rushing upside, man, he's gonna get that, man, because they're gonna be in tough games. They're in tough games every year to where like
He's got
he's
to.
gonna have to throw for like 300
You know, that defense is
because the running
bad.
game isn't working.
No, not because
Yeah,
the run game isn't working. It's just because their defense is their turn. We're watching the Buffalo Bills turn into Cincinnati. They just did it at a lot
yeah,
slower pace, but we're watching
mm,
them go from a decently balanced team that no one wanted to give the Bengals credit for when they made that Super Bowl run, but they were like fifth in defense. Brother,
yep,
it was a balanced team that went all offense, and now we're watching the Buffalo Bills slowly do it. That's
yep,
I think Josh Allen does hit that though, but I'm just saying the Bills from that aspect. And then last
yeah,
one, Joe Burrow, 3,924 and a half. Again, love Joe Burrow. I don't know if he plays 17 games. If he does,
yeah,
if he played
yes,
16, I might take those numbers.
yeah.
But I
With like about 35,
uh, and
38 touchdowns.
the reason that I avoid him because if you take one of these picks on Prize Picks, which you should definitely take some picks, when you take it, if your player misses the whole season, it doesn't they just remove them from the lineup. If they're in and
Yeah,
out of the lineup, they're still in there. So I think
yeah,
if you pick Joe Burrow, you're gonna miss out. But there's a couple other ones, bro, like sacks that I would take um,
uh-huh,
all day, every day, because that's the first thing I go to whenever I look at the seasons. Max
uh-huh.
Crosby's is at 10 and a quarter. I don't know because of the injury going in. He should.
Mm,
I would probably take
yeah,
it. I wouldn't take Miles Garrett's because his is at 15 and three quarters.
that's too high.
Yeah,
That's too high to take.
for him there, he's not going to be needed to backpack them.
Do
He'll be
that.
able to take
Yeah.
days off. Aiden
I think you
Hutchinson's
get 12.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he'll get 15. I just don't know if he'll get 16, 17. But Aiden
Yeah.
Hutchinson, on the other hand, his number's at 13 and a quarter. And I think Aiden Hutchinson, if he stays healthy, can easily get 14 sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a
Those
no, there's a couple Steeler
those are
ones, my guy.
tough. Yeah.
And I'm
Oh yeah?
TJ's is 10 in three quarters, like I'm taking it. I think
Yeah.
Nick Herbig's number is low as hell too. But again,
Hmm.
his will be
Well,
cool.
now I don't know if you it's now legal to bet
On the
money
lines.
lines
I
and
know.
yeah. And
I
for
ain't got
me,
into that yet.
I'm kind of, you boys kind of I think I could do that a lot better than I could do over like player numbers.
I
I
think
think I
I
could do
may
that a
I
lot
may
better than
dabble in
player
them. I
numbers.
may dabble into the lines a little, but again, I'll
The
probably do
spread,
both.
yeah, those are
Yeah, I feel like in the NFL I have a better chance, but again, I think every dope that's lost a shit ton of money on gambling has thought like, "Oh man, I can do it," and then
I got that.
I got it. I got
Everybody's Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems.
Yeah, absolutely. But all right, bro. So, well, real quick before we do go, we do have which second year quarterback do you think makes the biggest leap? Just quickly, for me, I think that it's going to be Tyler Shuck because the
Uh-huh.
Saints. You just paid Olave, you gave him Jordan Tyson. I think that's enough for him to take a big leap. I know everyone's expecting Jackson Dart to. I think once Jackson Dart isn't running around making plays and has to play the quarterback position, he could fall. He could slide just a bit, throw some
Yeah,
untimely
yeah,
interceptions. Cam Ward may as well, but I just don't know if like I thought Cam Ward played good down the stretch last year. So I don't know if
yeah,
that gap is going to be that tremendous. So the
yeah,
biggest leap to me is going to be Tyler Shuck.
yeah. Yeah, and to me, Cam Ward, like, come on, bro. Like, what did you expect him to do? He, the everybody's aware of that, and they've already seen the flashes of the plays that he can make. Because to be honest with you, Will Levis wasn't it. Will Levis just had a big arm, so like now that Cam Ward has had a full year under his belt, he's understanding things more. He's got a better OC. The coach is defensive minded, which is a perfect marriage that you want. You want more of a defensive minded coach to stop the ball, and then you want a great OC to put up the points. He's not really closing the gap. He's just settling in, is how I see it. So I'm in agreement with you as far as Shuck. I think Jackson Dart has
Truthfully,
no excuse because he has too much talent on that team.
with Cam Ward, my one like Dayball should be able to help him, but I don't think they needed the defensive-minded guy. I thought they could have gotten an offensive-minded guy because it is a little bit easier to find defensive coordinators than it is OCs that are actually good.
Mhm.
But I do think that for him, sometimes you have defensive-minded coaches that don't want to take those risks that
On
your quarterback
offense, yeah.
needs to continue to grow and continue to make those plays to make your team better because you're a young player and they want you to be like year 5, year 6 sometimes before you earn their trust. And it's like, no, bro, to earn your trust, I need you to cut me loose now. But
Yeah.
and then for me, last NFL, well, not for me, the AFC and NFC dark horse picks. For me, NFC, I said it last week, Dallas. That's my dark horse pick. AFC, honestly,
Miami Dolphins.
Baltimore.
Yeah, but is it really? For argument's sake, is it really a dark horse if they just had a off year?
Yes, because you're
Okay.
changing head coaches. You lost your center. You've lost some players. You have the most some of the most pressure from your MVP quarterback, where people say that he doesn't have it. Me as a Steelers fan, I watched Lamar have a horrible game, two games against the Steelers last year. Sorry, not just one, but two. And I truthfully think that nobody believes in him. I think everyone says it like, "Oh, I expect Buffalo to be there." Baltimore, we'll see. I think from the national media, is it a dark horse pick? No. But I mean, the only other dark horse team that I could pick in the AFC, people would be like, it's not a dark horse pick, but it would be Kansas City
Yeah.
because
I
I don't think people. I think diehards that have the conversation are saying that KC and Baltimore are both done. I don't think the national media is, but that's just because they're like, you can't count them out. Not while that guy is still
yeah.
playing there.
My dark horse pick for the AFC is the Cincinnati Bengals because everybody is aware. Everybody is aware that every single year, I think they finally let the ship sail and been like, well, it's Cincinnati. Like, what, you know, Joe Burrow's gonna get hurt. The defense is gonna be shit. I
Everything that I've been
think
saying the last 2 weeks.
so. I think that we're writing them off in the sense of like, no, they can't, because you got to think if Joe Burrow's healthy for an
If
entire year, hold on, if he plays the full year, they're in the
if
second round of the playoffs. Every year that he plays a full year, they're in the second round of the playoffs. So I think they're writing them off again because they really don't know about the defense, especially after last year. My
mm-mm.
God.
I think the defense is
So
going to be. I think anything that you roll out defensively with Dexter Lawrence is going to be better than what you had because Dexter Lawrence can make teams one dimensional, which will help your secondary no matter how bad they are because they know they're throwing the ball. Now you know not to get beat and don't look at all the play action stuff. You know they're throwing the ball, right?
yeah.
I just don't believe in their offensive line.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like Joe Burrow's. If their offensive line goes into like if they're able to fix their offensive line, and I don't even think Cincinnati needs a top 5 offensive line. I think Cincy could get by with maybe a
Top 15.
a 17th offensive line get Cincinnati to the playoffs. But I don't think they're that good, bro. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have made those jumps, and I think that you're right. If the offensive line can keep Joe Burrow up,
Yeah.
they may run away with the AFC North. But
I think my
ifs.
dark horse from the NFC is, I agree with you. I think it's Dallas. I think everybody's to that point where it's like they had no excuse last year, so they're going to disappoint me again. I'm getting I'm gonna go crazy on this, right? I'm saying that Dallas has a real chance in the second round if they make some noise to make it to their first NFC championship game in 30 years.
And just like that, we're switching topics. Which NBA star is under the most pressure? Uh, I was thinking this up as you joined a little bit earlier, but I
Uh-huh.
think for me, again, not everybody has to share my opinion, and I don't really give a damn. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Because are you risking being Jokic? Are you
Mm.
risking winning a couple of MVPs and winning a championship to never get back to then stack on top of it? Or even if you don't want to call him a Jokic, you could call him a Giannis because that's the same thing Giannis did. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are you risking doing that, or are you going to elevate and go down with the Kobe's and the LeBrons and those names by winning multiple? I think he's under the most pressure for that reason. You could say Wemby because he got there and everybody's saying that he's going to be the next big dog in town. But I think they got exposed in the finals, right? I think Wemby
Yeah.
has a ton of pressure. I don't think he has as much pressure as SGA does because SGA's got there, won, and now it's for him anyways. Is that
Mm-hmm.
it? Were you just a blip on the radar? Was the Oklahoma City Thunder just a blip in the radar? Or are you going to be around? That's the difference between the Kobe's, the Brons, the Jordans, the Shaqs, the Duncans, those
Mm-hmm.
dudes. They're around for a while. That's what makes them the greatest of all time. Are you that? Or are you just a blip in the radar?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like, no, I'm trying to think of a good, are you the 2008 Boston Celtics? That
Are you
team, Doc
Tracy
Rivers,
McGrady?
kind of. Are that those things become a not even Tracy because Tracy didn't win, but like,
Yeah.
are you that? Like, are you the Doc Rivers of it? That's what's happening is teams are winning and then they're just like, oh, I won that 2008 championship. And it's just like, yeah, that was it. What else are you?
Yeah.
So for me, I think
Mm.
SGA could run into turning into the ball player version, just like I think Giannis at up to this point, and so has Jokic, has turned into the everything is pointing back to what you did the season you won. You've been able to add fluff, but
So
that's it. So
it's like Hakeem, right? Hakeem only won when Jordan wasn't there.
Hakeem won two, but I do think that there was
Yeah.
a level of Hakeem was around for a long time, and he was always regarded as one of the best centers. I mean, if you think about how long SGA has been at this level, and it's not that in
Mm-hmm.
3 years, maybe four.
Yeah.
That's not
I
that
give him
long of
three,
a. That's not
4.
that like
Yeah.
when you start thinking about it. That's not that long of a run, bro. Like that's a blip.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm looking for can you become the next level? Yes, everyone will look at it and say, well, yeah, but he won. And so why don't you think that Wemby does? Because he won is the reason that I think he has more pressure than Wemby. Because
Yeah.
you won. Because now it's hey, you've shown that you're better than the people that are in the league now, right? Now are you going to shrink that gap from the players that have already hung it up? You know what I mean? Like, yes, your jersey is going to be hung in the rafters in OKC. That's because it's a new franchise. If you were the Lakers, nah, you would get it hung up if you were the Lakers. But are you going to be one of those players if you going forward, are you going to be one of those players that are talked about in 20 years in
Yeah,
basketball
because
conversations?
he's been a part of the organization for 6 years. Whenever his number passes the amount of years that Russ and KD were here, which is at 9, I think for both of them, and he's locked in for 9 years with the franchise. He will be there until 2030, I believe, is what his contract is at. Are you going to be a Hall of Famer? Or are you going to have more success than them? I think
Yeah,
that's where the pressure lies in there. And his trajectory happened so quick. I mean, you go essentially 3 years in a row of having one of the best records of the league. But this season's going to look a lot different because you lost that group that you developed with. You lost Joe, you lost Dort, you lost Wiggins. You're trying to add more size into the interior of the defense by drafting Ade Mara. Is that his name? I think that's his name. And you have Sorber. You still got Jay Will. There's a lot of things that they've added to the team, and they've basically stacked like 95 second round picks. So he's under the most pressure because everything has been about making sure that the team doesn't miss a beat because they haven't as far as their success during the regular season. Um, they got better after they lost to the Mavs, but at the same time, like I'm looking at what happened last year whenever they were in the conference finals against the Spurs, and I'm looking at it like, yes, the injury bug bit them, but how did he play in those moments? He steps up in games, but even his when they played, they shouldn't have made it to a game 7 against the Pacers, and I think that's my point because he has his peaks and his valleys. His valleys are 20 points. His peaks are 35 to 40. But in those 20-point games, another guy steps up and they might get the win, which keeps them afloat. But then he'll have his peak where he has 36 and they lose. So it's going to be very telling. I think he's he's right there with the most pressure. I also, I think Anthony Edwards is kind of in that same boat. I don't think the Knicks have a lot of pressure on them just because it was so unexpected because we were used to the Knicks getting in the second round and choking. So now that they put it all together, I think they're in a position now. Well, at least Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's like, I'm the king of the world. Like, I'm on top of everything. I have no pressure because I've been that player. We just finally put it all together to win the ship. As far as Wimby's 23 years old, bro. I don't think he's under any pressure. Like, the fact that they made it as far as they did, great. Now, you're now setting expectations for that franchise because you've tasted that success and you've gotten to the finals. But he's not under a lot of pressure. It's just like, hey, you keep doing you, and we will get to this spot probably year in and year out. So no, I 100%
Also,
agree
most
with you.
of the people that call Wimby overrated are Thunder fans, and it's crazy to me because they'll say stuff like, "Yeah, Wimby's going to get there and not win another one, and it's going to show how overrated he is." And then it's like, "Oh, just like Russ." Anyways,
Insane.
Isaiah, what do you think is the biggest fight the UFC needs to make happen before the end of the year?
um, Before the end of the year, I think Tom Aspinall needs to fight somebody.
He's supposed to fight Cyril. Cyril gone.
Is that going to happen before the end of the year? Have they put that on the books yet?
I don't think it's on the books just yet, but again, it's just August. We should start
Yeah,
hearing more
because
November, December timelines before too long.
yeah, because to me right now, if he doesn't have something on the books by about October or November, I'm done with him. I'm done with Aspinall. I don't. I'm tired. This man, he fights once every 16 months, even whenever he was healthy before the eye poke. So if that fight isn't made, I honestly think that the biggest fight that they need to put together is, I think, Patty and Gaethje. Run it back.
Like it. I
I think I'm looking at the card in about November, December. Get them in a new camp. Patty just came off of a good win against Benoit Saint Denis.
Nah, bro. Don't do it.
Uh,
Don't do it. Don't do it. You know who you got
what?
to do, bruh. You have to do. Honestly, Gaethje's not fighting before the end of the year. He's not.
No,
He's. I
I
think
don't
he's
think
already said
so.
it. Give me Patty and Ilya. Ilya's probably not going to be
But
able to, but if
yeah,
he is, please give me that fight. Give me that fight in December, and
yeah,
I'd be fine. Give me that fight,
I
please.
could. That would be the one that would really determine a lot of stuff.
But also give me Marab and Porter.
Yeah, that one needs to happen. I think they're gonna make Sean fight Piotr, and that's what's gonna piss me off
Yeah,
because
probably. It makes sense though.
Sean.
It makes sense though
Yeah,
because no, it doesn't because Marab was dominant. You got to give him his rematch, bro.
yeah.
Like you've
I
done
think you
that
got
for
to
a
give him
lot.
his rematch,
Yeah,
but I think they're gonna look at the fact that Sean beat Piotr, and so they're gonna be like, "Well, it's only right that we give him another title shot." And then I think inevitably because Petr Yan's a different fighter now than he was whenever he fought Sean. I think he wins, and then I think they'll set up Marab and Piotr in like this time next year,
No,
probably in
I
the
don't.
summer.
So I think that Sean is, and this is me changing. I think Sean is a bad matchup for Piotr Jan. Not, I don't think Sean can.
Just the height.
Yeah, I don't think he can't be beat. I just think that because of how hard Sean hits in his reach, he does pose a lot of issues with Piotr Jan, who likes to make you come in by just throwing up his high shell, make you get
Yeah.
into range, and then he starts getting his combos off, or he walks into
Yep.
your range while he's doing that. It's hard to walk into Sean's range and not pay the price when you're just walking in
Yeah.
like that. So I think he
Yeah.
struggles because sometimes he does get caught with his head on the center line, and if you keep your head
Hmm.
on the center line, Sean will make you pay. But I do think that he understands a little bit more than he did back then. I think he'll be able to
Hmm.
close the distance. And again, he had a lot of success against Sean, just like he did. It
Hmm.
would be a 5 rounder this time, which would change a little bit. How do they both look going the full 5 round? Does Sean gas? I think Piotr Jan understands that Sean's body is another weakness. So instead of coming out and leg kicking like everybody else does, he's going to try to get in and get off those body shots, which
Yep.
would hurt him. But I do either one of those spots, Piotr Jan versus Sean, or Jan versus Marab. I need those on the books now.
Yes. I also think that in the light heavyweight division, we got to get some action going. Maybe for a number one contender spot because Ulberg is not coming back until probably this time next year. Um, you know, is Yuri gonna fight somebody? Are they gonna make something with him going against really anybody? Because right now that division is gonna be held up for the fact that Olberg can't really defend his title because he tore his ACL. So let's get at least a number one contender fight to happen before the end of the year, so that when Olberg does come back, because when was that fight? That was in the spring? I feel like, or early in the year.
It was in the spring.
We're looking at in the spring, so I'm looking at if he recovers well and his rehab goes good, he will probably fight in maybe in the spring of next year.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, like we got to get something sorted out in that division. Does Peloton drop back down and maybe fight for an interim, not against Yuri, but just something. What does
I
his
think
career look like?
oh, so maybe Poetan versus Hokit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be taking a step down for Alex Pereira, just because Hokit's he's hotter than fish grease right now. But if you're looking at pure skill level, I think Hokit's gonna rush in and try to wrestle him a lot. I think you got to do Hokit versus Magomed on Goliath. I think that one makes more sense. He just got a dub a couple weeks ago, so
Hey, I'm
why not do
can
why not do something in that regard?
can I do a plug for the NFL real quick,
Yeah,
or for
yeah, yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
TV? Hey, I didn't
Okay.
know you could link your fantasy to YouTube TV. I was as we
Oh,
were
you can.
doing this, I've been linking, or I've been looking because WWE, just obviously YouTube TV and WWE finally came to a deal, so you're able to watch SummerSlam on YouTube TV without having to illegally stream, or you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Hmm.
so they're finally cool. And I was setting that up, and then I seen that we can actually link Yahoo Fantasy Football to the YouTube TV as you're watching the Sunday Ticket. So you'll be able to. I'll be able to track my. That's shout out. Hey, Yahoo Fantasy Football app and YouTube TV, y'all showing out. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
I don't really know what other fights that I do want to see at the end of, you know what I'm saying,
Jacoby
this.
Smith needs to fight somebody.
Why?
I just want him to fight somebody
Why?
because he got robbed of coming back to his city and putting on for his city.
No, I know, but like, who do you get? I mean, just redo him and Kevin Holland. I think they should be able to do it.
Yeah,
Eh.
yeah. I mean, does I don't think Volk is going to fight again until next year. They're clearly they haven't found anybody to fight him other than Diego Lopez. So
And you can't
I
keep
would
doing that, bro.
rather
You can't keep doing.
I would rather have Diego move up because I feel like at least if he moves up, it gives him a new level of competition because if he fights Volk again, man, like, are we going to get the same result? Since he's been training in Stillwater and really working on his wrestling a whole lot, I think inevitably his striking has gotten a lot better. I know that sounds crazy to say, but he looks more polished as a striker because people are trying to prepare for his wrestling, but I think it's made him a lot more dangerous on his feet.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Well,
not trying to speak out of
that's
turn, but I just think that
it's not out of
what's
turn.
helping him out.
That's why everyone says the best base to have is wrestling. It's easier for you to get into MMA as a wrestler that can't really strike and then learn striking than it is to be a full striker and then learn wrestling. The most that you're ever gonna do is what Sean does, which is just sprawl. Sean's not wrestling anybody. If you do get him
Yeah,
down, he's pretty much it's over with. It's just hard to get him down. It's like Connor. Like it wasn't very easy. Like Habib made it look easy, but Habib made it look easy for damn near everybody. But it really wasn't. Like Connor stuffed a lot of his early takedowns. But
yeah.
that's the
He just
that
never
yeah.
stopped trying to take him down.
Habib dropped Connor, and there's no world that just no grappling that I'm picking Habib versus Connor in anything. So
Yeah.
um so it's not you're not speaking out of line. It's just it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm trying to think of all the other is Amanda Nunez going to fight Harrison?
Yeah, well, she's got to stop taking the
Steroids.
juice.
What else? So we have that.
I want Prates. Prates should be on the
Ooh,
card here pretty. He should be on the card here pretty soon.
he may be. He's a welterweight, ain't he? Pretty sure. Is he waiting
Uh,
for Islam versus?
I think so. I think him
Hold on.
and
Is he or or is he a featherweight,
I think he's a featherweight.
bro?
He's just a tall featherweight.
Hey, Jamie, can you look that up?
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, he's a welterweight. That's what I thought.
okay? He's a
He's a
welterweight.
welterweight, so
So
he's. I mean, let me see.
I
He
thought
just
he
beat Jack
was.
Della Maddalena in May, so
Yeah,
he's not going to fight until basically the end of the year. He
yeah,
may wait until Islam versus uh
yeah,
in Gary. I almost slipped up
yeah,
and called him a bad name, that Colby Covington. Hey, shouts out to American born Colby Covington, Colby Chaos Covington for going in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Armin Saryukian. No, no, no.
yeah, yeah. Stick to. Yeah, and what is Armin doing? He's spending all his time doing the
Well,
RAF
because
stuff.
nobody wants to fight him.
No, I thought he was ducking, bro. I
Who's
thought
he ducking?
he.
He's been waiting for a title match for a while. He's been calling like when Islam was the champ. He was like
Mm,
he got suspended because remember he was walking to the octagon. One of those fans grabbed him and
mm, yeah,
wow, he got suspended for a little bit. But since then, bro, he's been running through people. Like he beat Du Bronx. They still ain't got him a title
yeah,
shot. So like obviously he doesn't fight a lot, but he doesn't fight a lot because the guys in the top 5 don't want to fight him. They want to fight people in the bottom, like in the from 6
yeah,
to 10, beat them, and then say, "Oh, well, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I worked for, motherfucker. I'm gonna fight your fucking ass." That's what they're all doing.
yeah,
None of them are
yeah.
like you're not seeing 2 versus 3, 3 versus 4 very often. You're not. You're seeing
No,
2 versus
not in those
10.
divisions.
Not in a lot
Yeah,
of
two
divisions, bro.
versus
It's like,
8.
yeah, 4 versus 12 and yeah, but they're not fighting each other. So that's what Armin's doing. Is he waiting for one of them to be like, "Hey, bro, I'll fight you." The last time one of y'all did was Oliveira, and Armin won. Now it was a very close and controversial decision, but he got his
Yeah,
hand raised.
yeah,
We were just talking about that with Sean. Very close and
mhm,
controversial decision. You're now a champion. Very close and controversial decision, and Armin's still sitting at the house because he ain't got that Dana White privilege. Hey, Sean, I'm becoming a fan of you. I will say you're a star. I love your content, brother. I'm not finna lie. But like we're not finna sit here and act like Sean O'Malley does not get Dana White treatment. Like Connor, I like Connor on
yeah,
his rise. He got, you know what I'm saying? Like Connor won the featherweight belt and never defended that mug and got a
mhm,
lightweight championship match. Never
yep.
defended that motherfucker and immediately
Meanwhile,
went up and fought for another one.
Meanwhile, poor Izzy. Izzy had to go through the gauntlet
Gauntlet.
for like 2 years, and then he moved up to fight Jan, which was Jan Blahovic probably walked into that cage about 2:30. Izzy probably walked in there at about 2:15.
Let's quickly, and I'll just do this off my head. Pause. I'm trying to think of the people that went up. Obviously, I'm pretty sure. So BJ Penn won the welterweight belt before he won the lightweight belt, which is wild. He choked out Matt Hughes and won that, and then went down and won the lightweight. So his was kind of backwards. He didn't do it the normal way. He did it kind of backwards. Randy Couture, I think, did the same thing. Yeah, Randy Couture was a heavyweight champion. Then he went down and beat Chuck Liddell and won the
Light
light heavyweight. So
heavyweight.
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So Connor, he beat a lot of people, and then he went up and fought, and he won the featherweight belt. He didn't defend it at all. Izzy won the middleweight belt. Obviously, GSP won the welterweight belt, defended it for years, and then came back and fought for the middleweight belt. Izzy won the belt. He won the interim belt. Then he starched Robert Whitaker. Then he starched uh, Paulo Costa, and then he fought Jan. So he at
Yeah.
least defended it at
Yeah.
least once. Um,
Yeah.
I I mean, I'm trying. Who else?
Everybody else has been vacating it.
Well, not
They're
even
not
just
defending
that, but
it.
they're
They're
they're well,
vacating
yeah,
it.
but they're defending their belt even before, like Islam. Islam ran through the lightweight division and then went up.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
bantamweight, we haven't seen very many bantamweight champions go up to fight featherweights. Like we don't.
No.
Volk went up and fought Islam. He beat Max. He beat the shit out of Max. Like he was beating
Yeah.
everybody at featherweight. And then he
Yeah.
went up and fought for the lightweight belt. So yeah, Connor got that treatment. Sean got that treatment. Brock got that treatment.
Yep.
Ronda for a little bit got that treatment. There's a lot of guys that get the Dana treatment, and I understand why, because you make him money.
Yep.
Make high sums of money, my guy.
Yeah. Um, I will say though, out of all the fights that I think need to happen, man, uh, is Sean gonna defend it before the end of the year?
I think he wants to, my dog. I truthfully think he wants to, but who do you put him in with? That's
I
the
feel like him and Kamza kind of have to run it back.
it's either that or it's DDP, but the I'm Hamzat doesn't fight that often, bro. So like they're not gonna make that by the
Yeah,
end of the year.
DDP. I think
They could
DDP
get him
is
in. I think
ready.
if it's DDP, they could get him in there by December.
Yeah.
November,
No,
December,
no,
DDP runs in, and he didn't take a ton of damage from Kamaru. So I think he can
no.
bounce back and fight by November, December. It's just now August. He fought in July, so August, September, October, November, 4 months. That's a four to
Yeah,
5 months. That's a nice turnaround for someone who's as active as DDP
yeah. I think he has a real chance to
as
do
well
it.
as
And
Sean.
yeah, and uh, I mean, I could see a world of some reason they're like, I think Joe Pyfer and Sean Strickland looks like a good matchup, and they throw that out there before they give DDP or Kamzat uh, a chance.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Nah, you know what you need to do to take your mind off of that? You need to listen to the Jake Paul episode on the pivot and just listen to him. And then I think I think the pivot does a good job of explaining Jake Paul to people if you actually
Uh-huh.
listen and understand what they're saying, which is Jake Paul is basically doing what Jackass did, which is I'm going to go
Yeah.
out there and do some outlandish shit and I'm going to stand on it. And just because I stand on it, regardless if I'm going to be right or regardless if I'm going to be wrong, it's going to be entertaining. And so many people are so tricked into watching me that I'm going to make a bunch of
Uh-huh.
money off of y'all, and who wins in the end. So just because
Me.
because
Yeah.
he's got that name, he calls people out regardless, and people are like, "There's no way," but you're talking about me. What did Easy E say in Straight Outta Compton? I mean, really, they spent their money on it. They can do whatever the hell they want with it, as long as they spending money on it. So
Yeah, it don't
that's
matter.
what Jake Paul has mastered, that craft. I don't think Dana would do that. I think there are times and there are people that get the Dana White special treatment, but I don't think Dana does a bad job of making fights. I think he does a really good job making fights. People hate the way he pays people, but again, like
Yeah.
Going back to Jake does a good job of putting the blame on fighter pay.
Yeah.
Jake Paul does a good job of what politicians do. They
Mhm.
focus on
I'm
what
gonna
you're
incite
doing. No,
doubt.
that
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on what you're doing wrong. I am passing everything and all the narrative to you. That way, nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about what I'm doing, right? So what he's doing is the UFC doesn't pay everyone that, right? Yeah. So when you look at the estimates of fighter paying, yes, Jake, because you're making a bazillion dollars. You bring the average up, dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like people are so it's like, oh, the UFC doesn't pay their fighters well, and it's like based off of what? Based off of what? Based
Yeah.
off of what Jake Paul is making? No, but shit, was paying that. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
the reason Jake has that money, it's not because of fighter pay. Jake has that money because he knows how to brand himself. But he's also
Yeah.
so good at branding himself that he makes people think that the fighters aren't making money by comparing them to him or comparing them to boxers. When we watch the entire
Yeah.
sport of boxing fall apart because people were demanding way too much money and the best people weren't fighting the best. So the like casual boxing fans stop watching. The diehards definitely still watch, but a diehard of anything is going to watch. I'm a WWE
Yep.
fan, bro. The product, it could be horrible, which it is, and I'm still going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Uh, and especially too, like at the end of the day, any fighter, Dana pays them more as they get better. It's an incentive based contract. You sign a contract for an amount of fights, and then you agree on the terms of what you get paid for that fight as it is made. There's a difference. Like Jake Paul is cutting deals for a fight every time because it's his own promotion, which just merged with PFL, I believe. And I heard some of those clips, and they were just absolutely asinine. But I know he's lying. I just think the general public has to realize that he's
But
lying.
people can't because people are a lot of people don't understand it as much, so they put their own like what they're dealing with in it, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't get paid what we feel like we should, we don't get paid, and blah blah blah. So he does a good job of being that podcaster or that voice that makes the masses feel, but he's doing to like Jake Paul is, and this I don't want this to get political or anything like that, I don't want people, but Jake Paul is doing to a lot of fight fans the same thing that a large portion of the country feel like movements like BLM did, which is they used BLM to capitalize on it profitably. Jake Paul does that with fights. Like that whole Ponzi scheme that people talk about, that's what Jake Paul does. Is he eggs it on, right? And maybe there are a couple of guys that are upset at how they fight or how they're not how they fight, but how they're paid. Like say a Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa could be upset at how he's paid. Paulo Costa has also missed weight. Paulo Costa, after getting starched by Izzy, hasn't been the same fighter. So there's so much stuff. Is like the employee that shows up late to work every day that's upset that they're not getting paid as much as the employee that shows up on time all the time. They're still going to be pissed off because they're not getting paid. Jake Paul does a good job of touching them and being like, yeah, you ain't getting paid this. And it's just like, no, if you were as profitable as Connor, if you were, yeah, you would be that. Just like if you go to MVP, if you were Jake Paul, if like
Sure.
all they're doing is saying, we're going to give you a platform to fight. Can you turn yourself into a star? No, you're
Hmm.
not. You know why? Because nobody looks at MVP as anything else than Jake Paul. That's all it is. Can
Yeah.
you can you
Yeah.
turn it into something else? Yes. You could. I'm not saying there would never be, but are you going to be able to launch people into superstardom like the UFC? It's like saying the UFL is going to be compete with the NFL. No, it's a good dream, just like the
Yeah.
XFL did. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not competing with them. You know why?
He does a really good job of instigating
That's all it is, bro.
um
It's
reactions,
all
which
it
is
is.
which is part of his shtick. I mean,
Genius. The kid is a
the
genius, but
guy. Well, he's basically got. I mean, the guy that he co-created, MVP with. was sitting there on that podcast and being like, "Yeah, Jake said that punch from
Anthony
that punch
Joshua.
from Joshua didn't hurt. It didn't hurt." I was like, "We know that shit. He broke his jaw."
Well, he's again the way that they explain stuff, bro, is like when he got punched, did it hurt? Probably not. You probably knocked the nerve endings out your shit, and then you didn't feel it
Yeah,
until you were having surgery. Yeah, it hurt.
yeah, and then adrenaline alone, just being in there,
It
it
hurt.
might not feel the
It
same.
hurt. But
My guy, it hurt.
people don't think, people really will buy into it and be like, yeah, man, maybe he hit him and it just really didn't. Maybe getting you're like, no, it hurts. Like, it
Yeah,
hurts. It's going to hurt regardless. How do you deal with it? That's completely different, but it's going to hurt. If you don't deal with pain well, getting your jaw broke by Anthony Joshua is horrible. You see some people walk around with 1,000 tattoos and they're like, none of this shit hurt. And it's like, really,
it
bro? You got a tattoo on
you
your fucking eyeballs. You don't none of this hurt.
there's pain
Yeah.
receptors. Yeah, there's
It
pain
hurt. Yeah,
receptors.
bro.
Okay.
Your shit might not work, but they're definitely there. Jake Paul is that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's what he has to do to kind of. I think he does it to like hype himself
Well,
up to believe some of the things that he
if
says.
you listen to the full interview, he talks about what like if you Jake talks about what started him and Logan, right? Like they were just normal kids in the Midwest and they were just chilling. And their dad would leave them outside and they started making vines and YouTube videos to make themselves laugh and they turned into superstars. And I will always commend them for that because they launched platforms on social, like they were some of the biggest creators that we had seen. Now there's a lot of them, but they were, right?
Mhm.
He took that of the approach of it, like win the internet and fuck what the historians say because
Yeah,
the internet is what's going to make me money, not this. So what Jake is
yeah,
doing is Jake is living through the lens of social media. So when you watch it from the lens of boxing or you watch it through the lens of him being a promoter, you see it as like, who is this arrogant little kid? But if you see it through the lens of he's a normal social media kid that's running around and just starting shit and his entire stream is with him following him. That's how Jake
yep,
creates such a platform is because even if he gets knocked out, even if he says I can go be a good slot receiver in the NFL, he's going to have eyes on it because he's saying it. There's no world he even said I'm not good enough to be an outside receiver. But you're telling me I can't be like Wes Welker? Huh? Him doing that is him saying like a wide receiver that played in the game 10 years ago. And what he
yeah.
would
It's
but
disrespecting
what he
them.
would do is he would say, "Well then why don't y'all get Wes Welker out here and let's see who's faster?" And people will be like, "Yeah, yeah, I think Wes." And it's like, "No, Wes
45-year-old
exactly.
Wes Welker.
Exactly. But what did he do with Tyson? He had people believing like Tyson could turn the clock back one more time for this YouTuber. No, he can't. And that's how he gets people because he's being disrespectful to Wes Welker. Like, how you do? And then it's like, oh yeah, yeah. And people start to forget that Wes was that 10 years ago. They think that 10 years isn't that long of a time and that Wes couldn't have not like gotten that much slower. And when Jake Paul, who is juicing still and is still working out actively at a high level, outruns Wes Welker, they're gonna be like,
He's
and it's
amazing.
like,
He's the
no,
greatest thing
he did
ever.
it then. Like now go make him race Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that's what Jake does a great job of being disrespectful to our legends and reaping the rewards from the outrage from that disrespect.
Mhm.
He'll say some shit like I'm faster than Michael Vick, and people see it as disrespect, and people they talk now they want to see it. Michael, come out and show this motherfucker that he's not faster than you. Come on, Mike. And then Mike is like, bro, I've been chilling for like 15 years.
Yeah,
And then he's
I
like,
was.
and then
I'm an NFL
And Jake
analyst.
reaches out to him and goes, hey, you finna make $165 million off of this. And Mike is like, shit, let's run. Then he gets out, and
Yeah,
that's what happens. It's not, I don't
yeah.
ever think there's been like contracts signed of people saying that I'm gonna lose. I just think Jake is a marketing genius. That's all he
Mhm.
is. He is
Mhm.
he's a generational marketer. But my fault, I went on a tangent because I
No,
like
you
Logan,
good?
but I don't like Jake. I'm not gonna lie to you. But wrapping her up, Isaiah. we have been getting a lot of support. Obviously, we do want more. We want people to share it with your friends, share it with your homies, tell everybody, you know
Sure,
what I'm
everybody.
saying? Comment, like, do whatever you want to. But Isaiah, what do you want to leave the viewers and the listeners with this week?
I mean, y'all see the team that I'm repping. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy. I'm just praying that we win 5 games this year. I'm really excited. We're getting closer and closer. First preseason game is Thursday.
I'm a
It will,
cry.
yeah, it will show us absolutely nothing indicative with the NFL
Don't
season,
care.
but it's our first little sprinkle of some football, so we need it. I'm looking forward to it. We've done nothing but grow in numbers in this podcast, and we've grown in our ability to talk about things. So people stick with us. I mean, we're just doing what we do, and I love doing it. So that's all I got. And let's see what else. And shout out to everybody that's working out in this heat. I know I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. The AC went out in my car. I'm only getting a little taste of what y'all go through every day, but
Make it.
more power to you. Because Friday was a different breed that day.
Man,
So
yeah,
shout out to
I
all
feel
y'all.
that. Hey, yeah, thank y'all for paying attention. Steelers Nation, I want y'all to understand something. Like, we're gonna learn a lot on Monday. We're gonna learn a lot in training camp when they put the pads on. I'm very hopeful. Like I said, I don't want you to be crazy optimistic when it comes to people like Drew Allar because there's still a lot for him to learn. But what I will say is like, don't watch it and think that everything is going to mean everything because it's not. There's still a world where the Steelers suck. Um, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, have fun, enjoy it, have fun, talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope it's great. I hope the whole NFL season is great. I'm going to lose a lot of money on prize picks. I'm going to win a lot of money on prize picks. I'm going to whoop a lot of ass in fantasy, and I'm going to be excited while I'm doing it. And if you a Cincinnati, a Baltimore Ravens, or a Cleveland Browns fan, go eat a big